Today on the Football Fun Factory podcast, we are discussing who should wash the kit. Chaddy, have you ever washed anything?
To be fair, a lot of the clubs I played for, I used to take my training kit home and wash it myself. So, yes, I have.
Who's that for?
Reading and Stoke, I think.
It's not a lot of the clubs you play for, Chad. You played for over 50 different clubs.
And back in those times, I think that was just the way, wasn't it? Kitmen didn't exist in
1930?
Carry on.
Well, we're going to be putting this subject on trial today, and we're going to see who should be washing the kit within grassroots football. So I've got two opposing statements that the gents haven't seen to date, and they have to read it out loud, and they have to then fight their corner. And we're going to go to Judge Johnny's court.
Hey!
I don't care how I'm going to wear it.
It's taken us 28 episodes.
For anyone watching on the YouTube, I think we finally decided how you actually meant to wear the judge's gown, and I look fantastic.
Class.
Thanks, guys. So, two opposing statements. Chaddy, can you please kick us off and read yours?
Of course. Washing the kit is the coach's responsibility. Yes, it can be Sorry, I can't read this handwriting. What does that say?
I can't see it from here, Chad. Just a made-up word I thought it would make you try and read.
I'm polarised.
It's not even polarised.
Just read it, Chad.
Washing the kit is a coach's responsibility. Yes, it can be an unpolarised task, but the coach should take it upon themselves and give the parent a break.
Quality, thanks very much, Luke. James, can you read your...
Are we really leaving that in?
Yeah, of course. Cool. James, can you read your opening statement, please?
Each child should be given the kit on rotation. This makes it fair. It means that the coach isn't burdened with this job every single week.
You read yours with such passion and emotion.
It must be fair, Johnny.
Cool. Luke, can you please remind the court of your opening statement? James, can you please put Luke on trial?
Yeah, washing a kit is a coach's responsibility. Yes, it can be a massively unpolarised task, but the coach should take it upon themselves and give the parent a break. I think as a coach, you're taking the team, you've got the team there, you should be the one to hand the kit out, collect the kit back in after a game, take it home, wash it, bring it back. And I think it makes the children feel more like it's a proper game, that the coach brings the kit, hands it out every week. And I think in general, that's the way it should be. I'm not for all this, the child taking their own kit home. The coach is a coach, they're responsible for the kit. End of. No discussion on this.
No questions, Your Honour. Just one question for me. Why unpolarised?
I just think, like, when you're thinking about polarised, it's certainly not that. But it is unpolarised. It's an unpolarised task.
Yeah.
I couldn't make myself any clearer on that.
That's a very good point.
Yeah. So, grassroots coaches obviously give up their time. They do an awful lot, don't they? Grassroots coaches, volunteers, unpaid, loads of time given up, phone calls during the week, organising the team at the weekend, making sure the goals are set up, they're there ready at the start before everyone else. They leave after everybody else. It's a unforgiving task, really, to be a grassroots coach. To then have to take the kit home and wash it, is that fair?
I think the coach wants to take that responsibility, to take the kit home. So you know what it's like as a grassroots coach. It can be stressful not knowing, people phone up the night before, little Johnny's not very well, he can't attend the game. Sorry.
Perfectly well, thanks.
Yeah. But they don't... They
look well. Thanks.
Guys. But they're worried that people aren't going to turn up. They've got the kit. They want the responsibility. They want to bring the kit. They want to know who they're handing out the kit to. They want to know it's all coming back to them at the end of the game. And it's a responsibility as a coach that I really enjoy, to have the kit and have that responsibility. So I think what you're saying is unpolarised.
Come on, enough. James, can you please Can you please remind us of your
I think
state?
unpolarised now makes complete sense. You know, they add a new word to the dictionary each year. I think that might be it this year. At the end of like Christmas time, don't they go, the new word for the dictionary for 2025 is going to be unpolarised.
I thought it was a word anyway. I think it's in there.
I think it is a word.
I don't think it's spelt like it is on the on my sheet.
Each child should be given the kit on rotation. This makes it fair, and it means the coach isn't burdened by this job every single week. So for me, there's a number of life lessons in children's football and children's sports participation. And I think that fairness is a great example. We have a word of the week at Football Fun Factory. Fairness actually was the word of the week fairly recently. And I think that there's so many life lessons that you can bring out through sport. Rotating that, showing that it's a team effort, showing that there's this week this person's going to take the kit home. They take it home, they wash the kit. Next week it's someone else's role and responsibility. It's not your little confused face. Just really shows that every single child takes their turn. And I think turn taking is really important too. There's so many brilliant life lessons in taking the kit home. Creates a team culture and team ethic, and really doesn't burden the coach, because I do feel that the coach has so many responsibilities, and if they've then got to take the kit home, every single week, what if their washing machine's broken?
Yeah, good point. All fair points. But is it the child that's taking the kit home, washing all the kit, hanging it out to dry, or is it the parent and the child doesn't really have any idea what's going on? It's just they've got the kit at home.
If I was the grassroots coach, that's exactly what I would say. I'd say this is an opportunity, and what we'd love, parents, is for you to, with your child, take the responsibility, another brilliant life skill and trait that children can develop, to go and wash the kit. Okay, they may need some help, turning the washing machine on, those kind of things, but those kind of things that they might learn, and actually that may then transpire to them helping more at home, hanging out the washing on the washing line. I think there's so many brilliant things that you can bring out through that. That's what I would do if I was a grassroots coach. I'd say, as a parent, can you please get your child to help you in this process? And you'll only be asked once every, however many players you got in the team, 15 weeks anyway. So 3 times throughout the year, everyone has to wash the kit. Really, really fair. So many benefits, very little drawbacks.
Yeah, I mean, you do, again, you make a really good point. I would say it probably wouldn't work like that, though. And it would be a case of the parent, the mum or the dad would come over to the group where the kit's all been put in a bag. The parent would carry the kit to the car, put it in the back of the car, take it back home, wash the kit, take it back the next week, and the child's had no idea.
It's such a detailed summary of what happened.
I want to make myself clear.
Right, I've heard enough of this. Thanks very much, guys, for your incredible...
One of our better debates.
Incredible points. I think just because of the sheer detail that Luke went into talking about a parent going to the car, picking a bag up,
We didn't even get to the actual washing of the kit.
I weren't allowed to.
I think because of that alone, Luke is our winner this week.
Again.
Well, mate, you're on a hot streak.
I know, yeah.
Obviously, we used to hand out Luke's Premier League winners medal, which is pretty cool. Not as cool, though, is this box of binders.
Oh.
Congratulations, Luke.
For me?
Give us
For you?
a binder.
Seriously?
Chad, give us a binder, mate.
Right, that's enough of this court. I'm getting changed. Good debate, guys. Chaddy, you look pretty happy with your binders?
Yeah, I've got one here, holding on to one. I've got another 4 in my box. So, yeah, I'm like the cat that got all the binders.
Cool. Chaddy, what do you really think then, mate?
To be fair, for me, like when I was coaching, when we used to coach at the academy at Cambridge, the kids always used to take their kit home, didn't they, and bring it in up until under 16s, where the kit would be numbered and they'd sort of come in, the kit would be laid out. And I used to take the responsibility of taking that kit home. So I wanted to make it feel a little bit more real for the kids, obviously a lot older at that age, and sort of be there. And also concerned, I was quite OCD. I wanted the players in 1 to 11. If one of the kids was ill or couldn't attend that week, I'd obviously be a shirt missing. So for me, I quite liked having the responsibility of the coach of taking the kit home. Obviously, my missus weren't that happy with loads and loads of kits hanging around all the house. But for me, as a coach, it's a responsibility that I quite enjoyed having, and knowing that I was set for the next day for the game. I weren't stressing about people maybe not turning up and not having the kit with them.
Cool. James, what about you, mate?
Yeah, I did 2 seasons, just drawing on your experience, I think I did 2 seasons, season and a half of academy football, and I remember that the kids used to turn up with like one sock.
Yeah.
So I remember one year we did the under 9s, and quite often, but we saw that as an opportunity because then you'd have a few spare pairs of socks, and when that kid turned up with one sock, it was almost like you haven't taken responsibility, and that, you know, you packed your bag today and you've got one sock in there, which for an 8-year-old is quite a harsh lesson. So I felt kind of in two minds about that, because ultimately it was probably the parents' fault, really.
Yeah.
I can see it from both sides, this one. I can see how there's responsibility and life skills, and as I sort of suggested, I think there's some real opportunities to learn the role of a parent as well that they probably take for granted. I know my kids don't even think about their clothes being washed, they're just their clothes are there, and
magic.
You know, you put them on them most of the time. They don't even have to do that themselves. But I think there's something to be said for you carrying the bag of kit home to then take it home and wash it and then bring it. I think kids would be quite excited about that sometimes, that they play a role in that.
Yeah, I think probably to make it easier for the parents, because that's the one that I'm mindful of, is if the parents did have a whole bag of kit, and as like you said, it probably never actually happens like that. It's not a fair rotation. I just draw on my experiences now playing football. At the end of on a match day, all the kit gets chucked into the bag, and the manager goes, "Who's going to take the kit?" sort of thing.
That's
and then,
horrible. At like adult level,
yeah.
I remember it's just like everyone's just like the one time the dressing room goes silent.
Yeah.
Who's taking the kit after you've had the muddiest, wettest game?
That's it.
Come back in the next Saturday, it's all just there, still in the bag, on again.
And I think like what we normally do at adult football is whoever's late, or if anyone does something ridiculous, like gets sent off for whatever, like they then end up taking it. But like what then happens is, like you said, it goes silent, and then the manager then goes, "Okay, I'll take it again this week," and then they ended up being like burdened with it every single week. I think then if it were a child takes it home, you'll always get that one parent that ends up getting it 5 or 6 times. It becomes a bit of a chore for them, and actually probably isn't fair.
Sorry.
No, I was just going to say what I quite liked at academy football is that they had responsibility for their own kit, because rather than everyone's kit. Just because then,
did you see that go wrong? Did you have the same experience as me? I think you maybe took older age groups, Chaddy, but where kids would turn up and they like didn't have some shorts or whatever.
Yeah, all the time, even with the older. And they are kids at the end of the day. It does happen, but I think I was going to say is very similar to what you said. I think that's a really good way of doing it for the child to have responsibility for their kit, because there's something quite nice for them to have their kit at home. They wear it at home, and it's sort of their responsibility for the season. They've got their kit, and I think that's rather than the whole kit going with a child or with a parent, because I think washing the whole kit is a bit of a pain, isn't it? When you
one big point of difference though between grassroots football and academy football, maybe, again, my experience may have been different to yours because it's probably earlier on, but is that grassroots children would probably then have their kit, if they did that, all take home their own kit and then turn up in the kit, whereas then within academy quite often is then the getting changed into your kit was all part of the process and things like that as well. And I actually found within academy football there are quite a few needless things that almost trying to professionalise it, but actually it's just like at 8 years old, I think kids can probably turn up in the kit, even go home in their kit, where it's almost like there's all these sort of nervous kids like showering and stuff, and they're like at 8 years old, and I think that's probably a topic for another podcast, a bit of a strange one, but that it was almost a professionalising something at a really, really young age, where it really doesn't matter if a kid at 8 years old gets in the car, they're a bit muddy, they sit on a bin bag to keep their dad's car clean, and they go home. That's kind of some of the best memories for me of being caked in mud and
not allowed to move.
You're completely right. I mean, the kids at that age, they don't want to be in the dressing room listening to the coach sort of getting changed and showering after the game. The sole reason that they're going is because they want to play football. They want to be in their kit. They want to be out on the pitch as soon as possible, even if it's that warm up, just running around with their mates before the game. And I think, like you say, professional academy football is attempted to be professionalised way too early. You don't need to learn how to be a professional or sit in a dressing room and listen to the coach at 7, 8 years old. You need to be out on the pitch, running around, doing what you're there to do, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think just thinking about what you said, James, it's true. They used to get to the game like at least an hour before the game. They'd then go in, and it was quite good because there were elements of that, and there were positives of that. So where they'd come in, they'd go and hang their kit up, which I know is only a small thing, but did help sort of try and teach them some of those life skills. And then they would have the opportunity to socialise with their friends before the game, so then they could have a chat. They obviously might not have seen each other all week or whatever it may be. So those aspects are really good. But when you then think to grassroots football, a lot of clubs don't have that as an option. They don't have a changing room where they can go into, and I think you can then create that in different ways, and you can build that into your sessions in different ways. So I think what it comes down to for me is framing everything in the best way possible, in the right way. So I think if all different methods that we've discussed, I think could work. And if the coach is responsible for it, I think that could then allow you to hang the kits up in the changing room or take responsibility of itself, so you can then prepare for a match day. But then if the kids take it home, there are benefits of that as well. So it's just the trade-offs really, and probably trying to mix it up as the age groups go through. And
I've just thought of a brilliant business idea slash charity.
Don't say it on here.
pause the filming, Ollie.
You can always edit it out. But a potentially charity where I was thinking of like laundrettes, and then to take when we're talking about the burden for the coach, the burden for the parents, and then actually my mind then went to the cost. Like some parents might be like, bloody hell, I've got to wash the kit, or the time, I haven't got time to do that this week, and things like that in the modern world. And then I was thinking of a service that provided like laundrette service specifically for grassroots clubs, where the kit was then sent off and sent back freshly laundered and ready to go. But I was thinking, as a charitable service, that would be pretty cool, wouldn't it? If you're almost like the grassroots laundrette service.
Ollie,
there we go.
Leave that out of the podcast. We've just made our first millions. Cool. Well, look, interesting debate, guys. But we're now going to head over to everybody's favourite part of the podcast, Chaddy.
Luke's questions. Chaddy's questions.
Yeah, close enough, Luke. Quick 5 questions with Chaddy. Let's go. Chaddy, who's your favourite kit man and why?
Oh, flipping heck. That is a great question. My favourite kit man would have been my first kit man at Manchester United. There was 2 guys, one in the first team called Albert, and one that done the reserves and the YTS players called Al. And they were fantastic people. They're both only recently just left the club, been there 40 odd years, and sort of were everything that summed up Manchester United in terms of the way that they were, how welcome they'd be, the banter they've had. And Al used to be able to forge the signatures of the players. So we used to take loads of kits in there and he used to forge them. So people have got a signed shirt off me over the years. There's every chance that it could be a forgery by Al. Not sure I'll be saying this now, but if it's on your wall, you might want to take it down.
Quality. Cheers, Al. Chad.
My question, Luke, would be the worst kit. So there's obviously every club has a kit launch each season. You know, obviously, probably as a player, look out for those kit launches. I should think I'm going to be wearing that this season. Can you imagine? Can you think back to your time as a player and think, when that kit was released, I was just like, that stinks. I've got to wear that.
I'd never actually really thought that in terms of like when a kit come out, it was just one of them where you'd wear it. I think I've said this before. When I signed for Cambridge United, like absolutely buzzing. Like deal got done really late in the day, and I ended up training at MK Dons before shooting over to the Abbey Stadium to be in the squad and start the game. I was absolutely buzzing. Got over there, got introduced to the guys. Went to my kit, put my kit on. I've been waiting for this moment my whole life to pull on a Cambridge United kit and go out and play at the Abbey Stadium. Put it on and it was like a treble XL. That was all they had for me. And it was like, I looked like a small child. It absolutely drowned me. And it was a real one of them where you think, I waited my whole life for this, and I looked like an absolute fool in this top. The wind would get in it, and I couldn't even run properly. It was so baggy. But that was probably the worst experience I've had wearing a kit, because I hated wearing kits that were too big. It used to be fine back in the day at United when there always used to be baggy stuff, but as the years went on, they got a little bit tighter, and the Cambridge kit was so baggy. I looked like a fool.
Quality, great pod, guys, and I'll see you next week.